Arizona has a multitude of beautiful lakes and rivers suitable for boating and various water sports. However, while most Arizona residents are aware of the risks of drinking and driving a car, truck, or motorcycle, many are not aware of the dangers of boating under the influence of alcohol or drugs. In fact, the consequences of receiving a DUI while boating, also known as operating under the influence, OUI, or boating under the influence, BUI, can be just as serious as those for drunk driving a vehicle. If you are going to venture onto Arizona's waterways, it is essential to understand the risks you face if you do so while consuming drugs or alcohol. Under Arizona Revised Statutes, it is illegal for anyone to be in actual physical control of a motorized watercraft that is underway on Arizona waterways if the operator is under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or any vapor-releasing substance containing a toxic substance. If the person is impaired in the slightest degree, the operator has a blood alcohol concentration, BAC, of 0.08 or higher within 2 hours of being in actual physical control of the watercraft, and the alcohol was consumed before or while operating the watercraft. The operator has any drug or its metabolite as defined under Arizona law in their system. The watercraft is a commercial watercraft and the operator's BSC is 0.04 or more. The fact that the operator may have been legally prescribed the drug by a medical provider is not a defense to operating a boat under the influence. If you are caught boating under the influence and it is your first offense, you may be charged with a Class 1 misdemeanor. Under Arizona law, this carries the following penalties: a minimum of 10 consecutive days in jail, a minimum of $1,250 in fines and court fees, drug and alcohol assessment, and random screening for alcohol and drugs throughout any probationary term, substance abuse, education, and treatment, if the court determines it is necessary based on the facts of your case. Some of your jail time may be suspended by the court if you complete the required drug and alcohol screening. If you are charged with a second OUI-BUI offense within 84 months of your first charge, you may still be charged with a Class 1 misdemeanor, but the jail time and fines could be increased. For this charge, you face a minimum of 90 days in jail, 30 of which you must serve consecutively, fines and fees of at least $3,000, a minimum of 30 hours of community service, substance abuse education, and treatment. A third OUI or BUI charge within 84 months is considered an aggravated offense under Arizona law and will be prosecuted as a Class 4 felony. You may also be charged with this offense if you had a minor under age 15 in the watercraft at the time of the incident. If you are convicted of this offense, you face the following penalties: a minimum of 4 months in prison and a maximum of 1 year mandatory drug and alcohol screening, substance abuse education and treatment as directed by the judge, a possible permanent revocation of your privilege to operate a watercraft, or a suspension of your operating privileges for a period determined by the court. This prohibition may be extended to any other waterway in the United States. Forfeiture of your watercraft. If the court requires this, you will be forced to surrender your boat to the state of Arizona with no compensation to you. If you are convicted of a fourth aggravated OUI-BUI, you may be subject to a minimum of 8 months and a maximum of 2 years incarceration. Additionally, if you caused a boating accident that injured or killed another person, you may be charged with aggravated assault or even manslaughter. If you are caught operating a boat with a BAC of 0.15 or higher within 2 hours of operation, you may be charged with extreme OUI-BUI under Arizona law. As with a Class 1 misdemeanor, the possible penalties depend upon whether it is your first, second, or third offense within 84 months. 4. For a first-time extreme OUI-BUI, you face a minimum of 30 days in jail and fines and court costs of up to $2,500. A second offense will subject you to a minimum of 120 days in jail, 60 of which must be served consecutively, up to $3,250 in fines and court costs, and a minimum of 30 hours of community service. If it is your third offense within an 84-month period, you may be convicted of an aggravated offense and subject to the following: a minimum of 4 months in incarceration, fines and costs of at least $4,000, mandatory alcohol and drug screening, as well as treatment if deemed necessary by the court, probation, forfeiture of any watercraft used in the incident. There are several other essential things to know about Arizona boating under the influence charges. First, if you are convicted of boating under the influence, the conviction will not appear on your driving record, but it will appear on your criminal record. This may impact your ability to get a job or housing. Second, if law enforcement has probable cause to believe that you are operating your watercraft under the influence of drugs or alcohol, you are required to submit to a breathalyzer or blood test. If you refuse, you may be charged with an additional Class 1 misdemeanor. Finally, wardens from the Arizona Game and Fish Department regularly patrol Arizona's lakes and may legally conduct OUI/BUI checkpoints. These wardens have the same authority as Arizona police to arrest and charge criminal behavior, including boating while drunk or impaired. While it is important to be prepared to be pulled over at any time, there is really no way to prepare for the stress of a police encounter. If you have been arrested and charged with a DUI, do not attempt to handle your case alone. Speak with an experienced Arizona DUI defense lawyer to help defend your case. If you're facing charges relating to a DUI, you might want to understand Arizona's law and secure the right legal counsel to ensure a fair trial. Call the Phoenix DUI Lawyer Criminal Law Team at 602-900-9891 to get expert-level legal help with your case.